Hello, my brothers. We are gathered here today to talk, to yap. We gonna be yapping.
So I'm Kaylee.
I'm Ashley. And what are we talking about today?
Why are you asking me?
Today, we're talking about what it's like being a triplet.
Ooh.
But as you can see, there's obviously only two of us right now.
The third one is elsewhere.
I feel like we should start, at the very beginning. Like, conception.
We were born.
Not conception. You know what I mean? Anyway.
We were not naturally conceived.
No. We were made in a lab. We were lab babies.
Oh, lab.
We were test tube babies. We were artificially, dish babies. We were literally made in a dish, and then swirled together and then put in.
Just doesn't sound correct.
Yeah, they just put some things in a dish and they're like,
here you go.
Mix.
Babies.
That's how it works.
Well, there was going to be 4 of us.
There was 4. There was 4, what's it called? Eggs? I think there was 4 eggs.
I think so.
But how many did they actually use? Was it more than 4? We don't know our whole story.
We were not quadruplets. The 4th one
Well, we were about to be.
Own thing. I thought. Because our mom had the choice of, hey, you can have this one baby or you can have these 3.
No, I thought there was 4 eggs that I think were forming babies, but one of them, something happened to one of, I don't know what happened. It just didn't work out. There was only 3.
Our sister absorbed it.
Blame
But
it on
we
the
don't
one
know
that's
what
not
happened.
here.
Yeah.
Just some absorption. And does that mean she takes on a different personality? Could be combined.
Christina thinks that we all 3 absorbed it together. And I was like, I didn't even know that was possible.
I don't know that is possible,
I
but
think she looked it up. I'm pretty sure she looked it up.
so it is possible that 3 babies can absorb 1. So we all have split personality is what we're saying.
No.
3 eggs were made into actual babies, and that's how we were born.
Isn't that so interesting?
It's so interesting. I mean, it is interesting. Not everyone's born that way. Not a lot of people can say that they were made in a laboratory, and then we
make it sound like we're inhuman or something. Like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, we're the Powerpuff Girls. And we weren't birthed naturally either. We were C-sectioned. We were cut out. We were removed.
Tumor babies.
Yeah, at least that's what one of our friends says, that we were just removed like tumors instead of just born. Apparently, well, I was the first one out. If we were birthed...
You're the oldest.
Yeah.
So you were the first one to be removed. But
if we were birthed naturally, then it would be the other way around.
Yeah, you would be the baby. I wonder how different you would be.
Yeah. Because apparently birth order has to do with your personality. And I feel like it applies to us. So I can't see myself being the youngest child. That'd be weird. But you'd still be the middle.
I would be the middle either way.
The forgotten child. Are you forgotten?
I am invisible.
Aww.
Aww.
So we were removed. It's like in Macbeth. You know,
What?
You know how there's a prophecy of I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know exactly what it says, but it's someone not born of a woman or something, and it's because he was a C-section.
Oh.
That's us. We're the prophecy children. We're also the Powerpuff Girls. We're a lot of things.
We're special.
We're very special. Well, when we were like babies and toddlers, there's not much to say about that besides like I feel kind of bad for our parents having to take care of 3 babies at one time. I can imagine. I can't imagine. I don't have a child, but I can see how that can be hard. And having like, what kind of stroller did they even have? Like a 3-kid stroller?
That wasn't a thing.
Oh, so
It
they
was
had
like a double and a single, probably.
Yeah, imagine having to lug that around everywhere. Especially if we went to, like, on a trip, like, to Disney World or something, which we did.
Leashes.
We were leash children.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything. Yeah, I can't imagine. Especially, like, trying to get us into car seats or something. Apparently, that's really hard to get children into car seats. Because they, like...
If you don't want to get in that car seat, if you don't want to get buckled into that car seat, you're not going to get buckled.
Yeah. Not much to say when we were babies, except that we were dressed the same.
For a long
time. Probably until we were, like...
in elementary school.
Yeah, like, maybe 11. Maybe even older. Like, we were just... Because our mom obviously bought all of our clothes, and they had to be matching, of course, because we were triplets. Although they weren't, like, totally the same. Well, some of them were. But we would have, like, different colors. Like, we would each have our own color of something. Mine was usually yellow. Hers was pink. And then Lauren was, like, blue.
That sounds right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I was an angel child. I was the good child.
You were last to be potty trained.
Shade! I was the first to walk. I was, the first to do something else. I don't know. Probably talk. The important things, but apparently the last to be potty trained.
I don't think I ever learned how to crawl. I literally dragged myself with one arm.
Yeah, I think she was the last to learn how to walk. As shown by how she is today.
What does that mean?
When we were like, I actually don't know how old we would be in this situation, but like, I would say like toddler, maybe older. Everyone thought that we were twins. Everyone.
It's because of me and Lauren.
They would come up and be like, there's 3 children, obviously, of the same age. We're all the same age, obviously. And there's 3 of us. They would come up to us and say,
"Are y'all twins?"
Because apparently I looked so different from the 2 of them, which, I mean, I can see a little bit, but it's only because I have different colored hair. And, like, you don't think that's it?
You have more, like, dad's side of the family look. I'm a perfect mix between dad and mom, and then Lauren is mostly mom's side of the family.
I honestly don't think that they look that much alike. Like, I can always tell in old photos which one is each of them, because I'm their sister, obviously. I'm sure it's harder for people outside to look at, like, baby photos and know that. But yeah, I was always... Like, I don't know what they assumed. I was just, like, some tag-along friend that was always with them.
There was one time we brought one of our friends to our grandmother's work in Baton Rouge, and my mom was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm here with my daughters." And my grandmother's coworkers were like, "Oh, you 3 are the triplets," talking about me, Lauren, and our friend. They thought she was the friend.
They thought I was the friend. So... I'm just always an outcast.
Well, the friend we were with, I mean, to be fair, she did have blonde hair like Lauren and I did, but her eyes were brown.
Yeah, she looks nothing like them. I swear it's just the hair. Because I have brown hair. And they had... Well, they both had, like, blonde curly hair. And I had brown straight hair. Is that the only thing that makes us look different? I guess.
It's not even, like, blonde. It was dirty
like, dirty blonde. My mom always brings up when we were, like, walking in some sort of parking lot, and this lady comes up and essentially asks if we're twins, like always. And then my mom says, no, they're triplets. And then she's like,
Oh, that one's the oddball.
pointing to me. I'm just the oddball, I guess. Just have to accept that fate for myself.
You sound so dramatic when you say that.
I guess I just have to accept that fate for myself.
Let me be dramatic. So we've hit the toddler. So let's go into like elementary school.
She was the smart one in elementary school. We were all in the same grade, but that grade was divided into
classes.
And it was obvious that there was a dumb class,
No.
mid class, and then the smart class.
I was always in a different class than both of them.
The smart one.
Sometimes they were in the same class and I was in a different one. I can't help it, okay? Elementary school, there is home life and there's also school life. As we talked about earlier, we were in different classes usually because we went to a public school from 1st to 5th grade. And there's more kids in a public school, and more class opportunities, so we were in different grades from each other usually. So that like gave us a chance to be able to make our own friends. Like we usually had our own friends. I mean, we had like some shared friends. Yeah, by some I mean like 2, because they lived in our neighborhood.
You know who you are.
Yeah. They lived in our neighborhood and would just like bike over all the time. So like those were our shared friends. But usually we had our own friends because we were in different classes and we have different personalities because we're 3 different people. But I think a lot of people view like twins or triplets as same person, same personality, like, you know, but that's not true. We're all different in our own ways.
And what she means by that is, as an example, say one of us did something to upset our parents. Whenever they would get on to that child, they wouldn't just get on to one of us, they would get on to all of us collectively. And the other 2 would be like, we had nothing to do with this. But they just saw us as one person. So if one did something wrong, we all did something wrong.
I think a lot of people view twins or triplets as the same person, and I think that can be an issue. Like even our like friends and family, like we're usually just lumped together as like one group, one collective. If one person tells her something, they kind of expect me to know about it somehow. Like, literally that has happened before where my dad tells her something important and then is like,
hey, Ashley, why didn't you do this?
and I was like, you didn't tell me. And he's like,
I told Kaylee.
okay.
I am not Ashley.
Right. We are separate people. It's interesting because, like, we obviously do attract, like, different kinds of people. And, like some of their friends I might not like, or their friends might not like me, or something like that. But in elementary school, I feel like it was a little different, because you just want to, like, hang out with everyone, with all the friends and stuff. And so, like, if her or Lauren were, like, going over to their friend's house, you know, I'd get a little jealous. Did you ever feel that way?
I felt that way whenever someone would want to hang out with y'all and not me. I don't ever remember really going over to anybody's house.
Oh.
I think everyone came to our house.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of our friends and their parents, like, also viewed us as a collective group, and so they felt like if they invited one over, they had to invite all of us over, and that's just a lot, having 3 extra kids running around the house. So, yeah, usually our friends came to our house, and that's where we hung out. That was our dynamic in elementary school, which changed going into middle school because we changed schools. We went from public to private, and that was a huge change, because you're going from, like, a grade with like 4 classes, and like
30 kids in each class.
right, like a lot of kids to 20 something kids in
the entire
one grade. One grade. And in our school specifically, it was mainly made up of boys.
Yes.
And besides the 3 of us, there were 2 other girls, I think, starting out. So we didn't have a lot of friend options in middle school. Just going from a place where we could all develop our own personalities, become our own people, to feeling like you're trapped under a microscope because of the lack of people and lack of friends. And the only options we really had were the other girls there, because the boys were awful, and just not worth being friends with, did not want to be our friends.
Basically, you felt like you couldn't be yourself there.
For sure.
Because if you weren't like everybody else, then
Right.
if you were different, then you were rejected.
Yeah.
It was like a hive mind.
Mm-hmm. Because I think a lot of kids had been going to that school and had known each other for years, and were raised different than us, very differently. And we
She
came...
means shelter.
Yeah, we weren't sheltered
No,
in the slightest.
not at all.
But just coming from public to private school, and we just lost that opportunity to make our own friends, be our own people. And so that was definitely hard, because at that point we had to share friends. Like, there was no other option. We had to share friends. So at this new school that we went to, the homework was
Insane.
a lot more intense than
Absolutely
in public school.
insane.
Like, in public school, I think we would take... Actually, I don't really remember because that was a long time ago. But there were less classes that we had to take. Going to this new school, I think we took 8 classes at the same time and had homework in, like, every single one of them every night.
Probably like more than one assignment.
Yeah.
And if
It was ridiculous because it was a college prep classical school. They definitely prepped us for college.
College was not as
College
bad.
was easier.
Yeah.
Literally. But you know, that us being in the same grade at the same time, taking the same classes, that helped with that.
It did.
Because we would sit around and we'd be like, here, you take 1 through 5, you take 5 through 10, you take 10 through 15, and we would just, do it that way and get that homework done.
It got to the point, I think one time we were just like, okay, you take this subject, you take this subject, I will take this subject. Because it was just overwhelming. Like, I would be sitting at that table until...
all night.
Yeah. It was too much. It was too much.
But there was also a lot of teachers that thought that we cheated off of each other.
We did. Just homework.
I feel like there was one time where we actually did cheat on each other for a test with Miss, because we had to retake a test, I think, and she put us in a room with the 3 of us alone and left the room. And so we were like, hey, what's this? What's this? What's this?
I don't remember that.
I swear that happened. But that was the one time that happened, because we didn't cheat off each other.
However, we were accused a lot of cheating off of each other because we think a lot alike, and we would put similar answers. Like Spanish tests we were taking, it said to describe 3 things in the room, and we all picked the same things, I guess because we think alike. And our teacher accused us of cheating, even though we had these folders around our papers, and we might have been sitting next to each other, or like, I actually don't even know if we were, maybe like 2 people over, but our other sister Lauren was across the room from us. That I remember.
And was this teacher in the classroom with us?
Yes. Yeah. So how we could have possibly cheated, I don't know.
We didn't. We just had very similar thought process.
Yeah.
It just ended up being like that. However, there was one time we took Latin, dead language. I mean, I don't think any of us were that good at Latin. That was like one of my worst subjects. Anyway, there was one time in that class. What happened exactly? You got busted.
Well, something happened with all the translations I was doing. I had stacks of translations. I don't know what happened, like if I just didn't do it right or if I did the wrong ones. I don't remember what happened there, but my teacher basically told me you have to do them all over again, and it took me hours to do just like one translation because I just sucked at Latin. And so she was sitting next to me, and I just took her translation, I slid it over to me, and I just started writing it down. And usually he would fall asleep in that class. So I
He was like 64 years old, like pretty old for a teacher, and very laid back.
yeah. He was walking around this time, and he just so happened to look at the both of us, and he was like, "Are you copying your sister?" And I go, "No."
And I was
Like-
probably sitting there laughing like I am right now. It was a dead giveaway. She obviously was.
He already knew the answer before
Yeah.
he even asked the question. But he didn't care. And I'm so glad that he didn't care.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in that class I wrote down something about unicorns in my translation one time just to see what would happen, and I got a 100 on it. Like, that's how laid back it was. Being a triplet can be helpful in those kinds of situations. A lot of people think that, like, in normal friendships and relationships, you're able to tell someone a secret and know that they will keep it to themselves. That is not the case for being a triplet or twin. With us, it's like you tell someone something, it's going to be told to the other two. Like, they already know it. They already know it.
Yes, you could come to me and say, "Hey, don't tell anybody, but I just killed this person." I'd be like, "Oh, I won't tell a soul." They don't count.
Yeah.
They don't count.
I mean, unless it was something that someone really didn't want me to tell anyone, then I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. Or if it's, like, concerning them, like, I shouldn't tell them, then I wouldn't. But that's, like, that rarely happens. So usually they know everything. What about people who think we are, like, telepathic? Are we?
We can be when we want to be.
It has its limits. Like, obviously we can't read each other's minds. Or can we? What am I thinking right now?
I actually have no idea.
I wasn't really thinking of anything,
I
honestly.
didn't. That's why I didn't know.
Yeah, she knew that.
We were all three really close, but then she and I became closer because Lauren, I guess she just wanted to fit in with everybody. So we just started keeping to ourselves and keeping to our, like, 2 close friends that we had.
It's honestly kind of sad, but, you know.
It was sad.
It is what it is.
It was very sad. I feel like I could not express myself at all without judgment and hatred and feeling like I just need to go jump off a cliff. Before that, when we were at the elementary school,
the public school.
Public school, yes. I actually stood up for myself. I talked a lot, like a lot. I was actually an extrovert back then, and I stood up for other people. Like, I had a voice back then. And then whenever we went to private school, I was just kicked out so many times. I was like, you know what? I give up. None of you are worth talking to. So I'm done. Like, you had to prove to me that you were worth talking to, that I could trust you. So to the very few people I actually spoke to, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I think it was the same for all of us. It's just a different, like, in elementary school, we were separated, first of all, like we said earlier. So we had a chance to become our own people. We had more opportunities, more people to meet, and it didn't feel like you were under a microscope. It felt like you could actually be who you want to be. And so I feel like all of us were like more outgoing in elementary school. I know I was. I was like the most confident kid ever in elementary school. And then once we got to this private school, it became the opposite. At this public school, I was like solely friends with boys. Like they would be like the only people I would hang out with as boys. And so going from that to not being able to talk to any of the boys without them thinking like you have a crush on them or something is crazy. Like, you could only be friends with the girls. Otherwise, it was looked at as weird, or you were like judged or something like that. Yeah, and so me and her definitely got a lot closer through that period of like not wanting to be friends with a lot of people at that school. Like, honestly, too close. Like, we became codependent on each other. We still are to an extent. Mm-hmm. We went from this private, small school to another public school for
Massive
high school.
school.
Humongous. And that was another change in scenery, change in social life, and everything. It was a huge jump going from microscopic to so many people. Like, it was definitely a shock.
And we actually started making our own friends again.
Kind of.
I feel like we did. I mean, there were people we hung out with during school. Like, we had our own groups during school, but outside of school, I mean, we didn't really hang out with anybody.
I mean, were we in the same classes in high school?
A few times.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I was in a... Oh, yeah. I did AP Art and AP English, and that's when I was by myself. So, yeah, we were separated again, and it did give us sort of an opportunity to make our own friends. But it was kind of hard to make friends at the school where people were already friends with people that they've known forever. Lauren was more social than both of us. We kept to ourselves, and she was the more outgoing one in high school, which made everyone else view us as Lauren's sisters. Literally everyone called us Lauren's sisters.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know our names.
I was no longer Kaylee. She was no longer Ashley. We were just Lauren's sisters.
That's so, like, dehumanizing. Like, I don't even know if they even tried to learn our names. They're like...
Oh, you're Lauren's sister. Yeah.
High school sucked. All in all.
Yeah. I was just eager to graduate and get out of town. But of course, we graduated in
2020. COVID.
I guess we should talk about college now. We each went to a different school, and that sucked so bad because we spent 18 years together. And I mean, like, every second of every day together. And then all of a sudden, we live hours away from each other. That was not easy.
No.
At all.
It's not easy doing it, like, as a normal person. Just moving away from all your family, from a place you've known your whole life. But throw in the fact that we also won't have our sisters there it feels like a limb's missing, honestly. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But it did give us an opportunity to, again, make our own friends, live our own lives. It just was hard,
It was very hard.
especially during COVID,
Yes.
because there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity to do things and meet people.
There was not. There was zero. I felt like a prisoner.
Yeah. Eventually, she came to the same school as me, and then
Yes.
we stayed there. Well, I stayed at the same school for all 4 years of college, and she came like my last 2 years. And because she transferred, her credits didn't all transfer, so she had to stay a year without me being there.
That was hard as well.
Yeah, and like, when I graduated college, I immediately did the Disney College program, like, that summer it went from June to January. So I not only was by myself, but I was in a different state by myself with no family or friends. I didn't know anyone. So that was definitely an opportunity, like an interesting opportunity. It was good and it was bad because I had a lot of anxiety being by myself, being in a new place, new surroundings, new people, a ton of people. Oh my gosh. But it also gave me a chance to become my own person, which is like, I mean, I think we all need that.
Yeah. It wasn't easy for me. Whenever she first moved over to Disney, I was very depressed. Like she said, we were very codependent, and we still are. And it was just hard for me to do things by myself because I was like, dang, I would always do this with Ashley. And I feel bad for the roommates I was living with because all I wanted to do was stay in my room. Like, I just lost all motivation to do anything, talk to anybody, hang out. It was a very sad year. But, I mean, obviously it got better. I got used to her not being there. But it still wasn't easy. Like, when I could just walk over to her room and tell her something, I had to wait until she got off work, or like make sure the timing was right because she was an hour off.
Yeah, we're
to
in
call
different
her.
time zones. It's also hard because in our college years, we had a lot going on at home
A lot is an understatement.
and in our family life. So dealing with that and being by yourself is difficult. Takes therapy is what it takes. Our parents got divorced. We had to move out of our childhood home. So that was like, we had lived in that house from first grade to like almost end of college. I don't know how long that is, but it's a long time. And we had only known living in a house. And so we had to move out of that house and had to deal with the fact that our parents were not going to be together anymore. And we had to deal with them like arguing with each other, going through us to talk to each other.
Yes.
Anyway, along with that, one of our very close relatives passed away, and that was also really hard. I would say, all in all, being a triplet has its positives and its negatives. Positive in the fact that you have a built-in friend. 2 built-in friends, in fact.
Yes.
Who have lived the same things as you, who have gone, like, through the same things as you. So, like, say, like, we had something bad happen. It's not just you going through it. It's, like, you're not alone, essentially.
Yeah.
So, that is definitely a plus of being a triplet. However, the downside of that is becoming codependent. And too attached to each other to a point where you can't really be your own person or like having,
I wouldn't say we're not our own
I mean, yeah,
person.
but it sometimes gets to a point where if you're like away from them, you start having anxiety of like not being with them, which is interesting, but it happens. It really does.
It does.
I'm sure that all, like, twins and triplets probably feel the same way. Would you want triplets? If you like this video and want more content like it, we've got a lot of stories. So definitely
Yes.
definitely subscribe to this channel. This
Or
is our,
don't. I mean,
yeah,
it's up to you.
yeah.
Really.
We don't care.
No.
We do care. I do care. Bye! What were we talking about? Like, different personalities. We are different people.